Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fearless Friday. Every Friday, we try to help real estate agents take the fear out of putting themselves out there. I'm Tanya Eberhardt. I'm the founder of BrandFace and author of 4 books on personal branding. We help real estate agents differentiate themselves through personal branding. And I'm on the line today with my co-author of 2 of the personal branding books, actually, and partner in the company, Michael Carr. And Michael, if you would be kind enough to just give a brief intro of yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Michael Carr, founder and CEO of Michael Carr and Associates. We are anything real estate. We're located north of Atlanta, Georgia, and we have the confidence of over 68,000 residential transactions. And I have the honor of being partner and co-writer, author of the BrandFace for Real Estate Professionals book with Tanya. So welcome, everybody.
All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and get started with today's presentation. Today's presentation is elements of a powerful brand. What we're going to share with you today are 5 stars of a powerful brand and 6 ways that you know your brand is working for you. And we did this because, you know, we get a lot of very fair questions about branding. Okay, what if I, once I have my new brand and I put it out there, how do I know it's working? How do I know when I've got the right brand? And frankly, when is it going to start making me money? And so we'll answer some of those questions for you today. But when Michael and I, pull together ideas to brand someone, we do so based on these 5 stars. And so I'll take the first one here. The first one is a great brand must integrate you authentically into the brand. That's a big thing for us. BrandFace really stands for 2 things, authenticity and confidence. If we can help our clients with those 2 things, making sure their brand is truly authentic to them and making sure it gives them a level of confidence so they step out the door every morning owning it and loving it because it truly is them, that's what we strive for. So what you're looking at on the right of your screen is what we call a BrandFace ID card. We do one for everyone in our program, and this happens to be Carol Mel from Colorado, actually. And the reason I showcase this particular BrandFace ID card for Carol is that she is truly an empowerment person. She has a great background in public speaking, in teaching people, first-time home buyers, for instance. She's done a lot of seminars. She loves empowering people with the information they need to be able to make the purchase or sell the home that they wish to sell or purchase. So Carol really owns and loves this brand because it is uniquely and authentically her. And as you can see, I'll just kind of give you a quick rundown, and we won't need to do this moving forward because you're going to see several BrandFace ID cards today. What you're going to see is 5 elements of the brand at a glance. The first one is a photo of Carol from her photo shoot. One of Carol's background branding images that go along with her brand to remain consistent. Her positioning tagline, which is your empowerment agent. Her logo, in this case, it's her brokerage logo here. And then an elevator pitch that reads, I empower people to make sound decisions by thoroughly educating them throughout the real estate process with my comprehensive knowledge and experience and all the patience they deserve. And Carol has just a beautiful brand. It's very authentic to her. And again, that really, if your brand isn't authentic to you, if you're not feeling it, if you can't breathe it every day, then it's the wrong brand. So that's the first one. I'll let Michael take this next one.
All right, number 2, guys. In this instance, we have Denise Connor, and she's in Nashville, Tennessee, and she's your uptown agent. So you can see from the branding elements that in her ID card, the same thing that we talked about with Carol. Now, this image of Denise with the cityscape and the backdrop is along with her elevator pitch. So this is also one of her branding elements in the back. Again, you see the same, that the logo that we've got right there, and then I'm going to expand this and read it. Denise says she helps selective clients locate or sell exceptional homes in upscale areas which reflect Nashville's artistic, eclectic, and fashion-forward lifestyle. And this is because she's Nashville's uptown agent. So it identifies and it differentiates at a glance.
Can't get more succinct than that. Okay. The third star of a powerful brand is you have the ability to get creative with the brand. And we make sure that with every brand that we have, they can get super creative. Here are just a couple of them that I'd like to feature that have gotten really creative with their brands. At the top, you see Ivan Blanco. And first of all, besides being an awesome name, Ivan Blanco, Ivan is in Seattle. And Ivan's elevator pitch says, I help educate clients who feel lost and frustrated by the real estate process to gain empowerment when buying or selling a home so they can make the best decisions for themselves, their finances, and their family. What's really cool about this and makes it authentic to him is he is the real estate professor. And he was actually a professor, a high school professor before he got into real estate. So he really plays upon the creativity of being that professor. The iconic symbol of teacher or professor would be the apple. And so he kind of pulled that into his brand with a little sold sign in the middle of it. And in this photo shoot, he actually was throwing apples into the air. I asked him one day, I said, Ivan, how many apples did you ruin when you were doing this photo shoot? And he said, you don't want to know, it was a lot. So that happened to be a really cool snapshot that his photographer got. And again, it's just being creative with that brand. And at the bottom, this features Stacy Matsuda, who is, I believe, in the Greenville, South Carolina area now. And Stacy wanted to bring in her sister and her daughter into the brand. They are Keller Williams agents. And Stacy told me one day, she said, Tanya, I'm not the person you put in a dress or a suit. She said, that's just not me. Our family really is all about attending anything with a ball, any kind of sporting event that's out there anywhere, we're going to attend that. And I'm a t-shirt and jeans kind of girl. And I said, you know what? Well, let's roll with that. And so we ended up branding them Team Matsuda Realty. And as you can see, creatively, they super embraced that, because when we talked about doing their photo shoot, we said, you know what, Stacy, let's do this. Let's go like all in. Let's get jerseys for Team Matsuda, first of all. And when you have your photo shoot, have some of the photos taken with the little black marks on your eyes. So they did that. They went all in. And as a result, what an amazing creative approach to the brand. All right, Michael, let's take this one.
All right, here's a bonus, and one of our favorites, Miss Colleen Robinson, and she's actually in Findlay, Ohio, and her elevator pitch is, I guide open-minded customers through the technical and real-life aspects of real estate with thoughtful patience and expertise so they can count on someone they trust throughout a life-changing transition. And her brand, as you can see, is Count on Colleen. And what makes this so incredible is she was able to do a brand that encompassed her name. And then as you can see from her logo, she's got the house, she's got a key, and then she's got her name. So there's literally no mistaking who you can count on, and you definitely can count on her. She's superb. And there's no doubt what her messaging is. And then it is also displayed not only in the confidence of her picture, handing the key, it also explains it as the others in their elevator pitch. And then I love the fact that her logo says everything that she does too. And you could take out any one of those elements and put it on a mail out just by itself, and it would be identifiable to her based upon those branding elements. So it's very important, and when it's possible on a good brand, to tie that back to your name, especially when you're being the face of your brand.
Thank you, Michael. There's one more bonus that make up those 5 stars of a powerful brand. And the second bonus in that is it incorporates rhyming or alliteration. If you think about it, it's so much easier to remember things, to recall things that either rhyme or they have some alliteration. So in this case, Renegade Realtor both begins with an R. It just is a really powerful brand. It's a really cool brand. This is Martin Zidell, and Martin's in the Houston, Texas area. And his elevator pitch says, I uncover and overcome the real reasons a property may not sell with my exclusive Renegade system, which turns traditional real estate sales on its head and prepares for a fast sale at full value. Like most elevator pitches, that one is loaded. And we just love this brand because he worked in his cowboy hat into the photo shoot as well. We also worked it into his Renegade Realtor logo. But as you can see, you've got that, the 2 R's there. Just make that recall a little bit more powerful. And that is another bonus when we can do that with a brand. So the next thing I want to share with you guys is 6 ways you know that your brand is working, because that's really the question you're here to, the answers you're here to learn about today, right? We want to know, okay, when's this thing going to start making me money? And so hopefully we'll answer these over the next 6 slides here. But Michael, I'll let you start with this first one.
Yeah, the fear of focus is one of the top reasons for failure in business. Now, this is so true. The fear of focus, so many people, especially with real estate agents, they think I have to work with everybody. And what you have to do is you have to adjust that thinking just a minute. And you have to say, I am prepared to work with anybody. But you have to admit, I don't want to work with everybody, because you can't. It's next to impossible. And as we've all heard before, jack of all trades, master of none. So you want to try to focus in on customers, and the true life transparency in Tanya's story and my story, mostly Tanya's story at first, was she was terrified when she went from a full-blown marketing company with all the bells and whistles, would work with anybody, worked on branding with anybody, and said, you know what, I'm only going to deal with businesses where the person wants to be the face of their business. And so she drastically narrowed her focus when she did that and lost 75% of her clientele. But she knew that if she did that and she only went after that, that she could be specialized, she could perfect it, she could box it. Now, when I was lucky enough that she asked me to come on board, we even narrowed it further and said, you know what, we're going to deal with real estate agents only. And we didn't start that way, but because I was in the real estate business predominantly, and that's what I hired her to help me do, then we focused in on real estate agents. And we have seen the growth of BrandFace for real estate professionals grow astronomically, because we have turned away business that would have kept our focus on something besides that. So this is one way that you know that it's working. If you've got a little of that twinge, that fear, well, I'm fixing to alienate a little bit, that's okay, because what you're really doing is focusing.
Couldn't have said it better. And there's a saying that I like to repeat with regard to that. A lot of people will get on the phone with me for the strategy sessions that we do for people, and they'll say, you know what, I really love to help people, and I don't want to turn anybody away. I want to help everybody. And while I completely understand and appreciate that spirit with which you move into real estate, we love to see that. And frankly, it's just a wonderful characteristic of all the people that we deal with. However, I look at them and say, with tough love, if you're trying to help everyone, you're just going to help yourself right out of business. You can't do it. So focus in. You do have to focus in on what you want to achieve to really make your business grow tremendously. The second way that your brand is working is when your new brand is getting noticed by other agents to the point that a few have mentioned it. And you notice that little small type down at the bottom of the screen says, sometimes with negative or snide remarks. I have to say, this does happen. There is jealousy in this world, and your brand is working when other people mention it, and especially if they criticize it. If they're critical of any part of it, you'll know it's hitting a nerve, and that's okay. Now, we've had people say to us before, I don't want to alienate other realtors. I don't want to alienate them at all. This is not alienating them when you draw attention to the benefits you can bring to your customers, which is really all your brand is. Your brand is stating what you can do for your customers. It's not stating how great you are and look at my face on every billboard. It's saying, hey, here's who I am. Here's what I have to bring to the table. Here's who I help, how I help them, and how it makes their life better. So believe me, it's a hard thing to stomach at times when people are critical of your brand, but 9 times out of 10, it will be another real estate agent. And 9 times out of 10, it will be because of jealousy. It won't be because, because there's something wrong with your brand. So I love the Frank Sinatra quote, which is, the best revenge is massive success. So I'll just leave you with that one. Michael?
All right, the next one's number 3. You're becoming known for exactly what you want to be known for, and the customers you really don't want stop calling. Okay, so what's really good about this is, again, focus on who you are and who you want to deal with. And this can change over time. You can keep that in mind, but you really want to move in on the people that you are interested in working with. You cannot be all things to all people. So if you do try to be that, then somebody's going to get shortchanged, and that is not what we want at being trying to perfect our craft in a way to be the best that we can be at it. When it comes to business, there's definitely an ideal customer in any form of business. So identifying that as a real estate agent, saying, I want to work only with first-time home buyers. I want to work only with second home buyers or vacation home buyers. When you focus in on that, then not only do you become the best at it, but you also can seek out those people, and those people will start to seek you out. And I like personally, like one of the best highlights of working with Tanya was when the first person, I'll never forget him, came into our office, and he was an out-of-town buyer wanting to buy commercial property. And he said, hey, I just landed and I drove into Jefferson and I saw your sign, you are anything real estate, and that's exactly what I need. And we've had a working relationship with him for years now, and he's out of the Tampa, Florida area. And it's a perfect example of where our branding and messaging attracted the exact person that we do business with every day, even though he didn't know we existed until he landed in town.
The fourth way you know your brand is working: people begin to recognize you and call you by your brand identifier or mention your tagline. And so this is very common, and in fact, it's a lot of fun. So for instance, we've got Kathy White, and I think Kathy's on the webinar today. Hi, Kathy. Kathy is from Whistler, British Columbia, and we branded Kathy your lifestyle locator. Here's her elevator pitch. I help families and retirees to locate legacy homes or luxury retirement investments that are perfect for their deserving and active lifestyle. And the Whistler area is known for, obviously, their ski resorts. Kathy is very close to what's known as Canada's wine country. So she knows that her clients really are after the lifestyle in that area. That's why they want to buy there. So when Kathy, as her brand continues to grow and she goes into a restaurant and somebody says, oh, there's the locator, there's a lifestyle locator, that's what you want. You want people to have fun with your brand. And when they start saying things like that, that's when you know it's really working. Another example might be Peter Mohilsky is in Destin, Florida, and his brand is Bucket List Broker. And so when he goes into a restaurant, people may say, hey, bucket list, there's the bucket list guy, where's your bucket? Because in his photo shoots, he actually held a bucket in some of his photo shoots to really bring that brand all the way across. What I love, love, love about Kathy right now in this is this photo looks so much like she really lives that lifestyle in her area. So I want to pull this up. Kathy, thank you, Kathy. I don't know if you guys can see my screen, but it says, thank you, Tanya and Michael. Awesome guidance through my BrandFace star branding. Well, you are a star, Kathy, and we are so thankful to have you in the program. We're very honored. You make us look good. So, so I appreciate that. But this is, when people begin to call you by your tagline or something about your brand, identifier, that's another really strong way that you know that it's working, and you should be very proud of that. All right, Michael.
Number 5, you're looking at David Wright right here. And number 5 is you begin to get calls and emails and messages asking for your advice on your chosen niche. And you'll find that people, you're attracting the customers that you want because your messaging is out there. And you got to keep in mind your messaging is out there, and there are people equally looking for that messaging, even if they're not exactly sure of what they're looking for. Then they know the same keywords. They're using Google searches for the same keywords as we have in your branding. And so it's very important because it begins to attract you. And then you're known for that. I get phone calls all the time, at least 2 or 3 a week, where people are asking me about investments, because that's something that I've been involved in and something I've done a lot of in the Atlanta market area. And so I get people ask for that. Well, look at David. Read his elevator pitch here. I work with selective clients who appreciate a refined life of architecture, culture, and travel, so they can have first-class real estate experience they deserve alongside a realtor who takes pride in the quality of life. Now, what makes this so incredible is David's background. Like David, I have to read it here. He's been an author, he is an author, a museum curator, a world-class photographer, all before he became a realtor. And so he brings that, not just as it says in his elevator pitch, he brings that to the type of properties that he wants to list and the type of buyers that want to buy the type of properties that he wants to list. And as you can see from his background image, it's very refined. He's a very refined gentleman anyway. He is a joy to talk to. You pick up on his knowledge and expertise immediately when he gets you on the phone. He's a refined person himself. He fits the brand perfect. And consequently, he will start to get phone calls and messages from people wanting that very advice.
All right. And the final way that you know your brand is working is your ideal customers over time become a higher percentage of your customer base until they make up at least 65% of your business. That is the goal. And what does that mean? That turns into money, because that means now you're working smarter, not harder. You're drawing in exactly the kind of customers that you want to draw in, the customers you are most suited to work with, not because you don't want to work, you don't want to help people, you don't want to help everybody, but there is a certain ideal customer who's looking for exactly what you bring to the table. And as time goes by, you will begin to see more and more people of those people coming to your door, more and more opportunities for them to refer you to more people just like them. And the goal is to get to at least 65% of your business being those ideal customers. And that's, my friends, all of those things combined are when this turns into money. Now, I will answer the question, when I get a new brand, about how long before I can see the results and start making money off the new brand? We always say almost immediately, because, and I'll state a great example from Gail Flannery from upstate New York. She is your transition agent. And the moment Gail says she started talking to people and saying her elevator pitch in almost every conversation, hey, I'm Gail, I focus on this, and this is who I help. She said almost instantly, Tanya, people said their eyes popped open. And they said, oh my gosh, wow, well, that's exactly the position that I'm in. I really need to talk to you. And then it was that such strong connection there that they felt like Gail might be the only person that could help them. So just the conversations you have daily can be turned into business almost immediately. And then when you start putting your new brand on your business cards, on your brochures, your flyers, your social media cover photos, your website, putting information about your brand and links in the signature of all your emails, the list goes on, then that compounds over time. So the answer is almost immediately, but definitely within probably around that 4-week time mark that you get everything into place and start seeing the results and the fruits of your labor. So I'm hoping that helps everybody today to learn a little bit more about what constitutes a really strong brand. What do we look for when we brand people? And then how do you know your brand is working? So Michael, before I close out and kind of tell everybody where to go if they have any more questions, I'd like for you to just kind of, close us out and sum up today's presentation.
Absolutely. So one of the things that to just summarize is you want to identify these brand elements that make for a good brand. Then you want to get that brand and you want to display that brand everywhere that you can. And inside displaying that brand, you want to live it authentically, which is very important. You have to live it every day. We tell people this in the program. We brand people sometimes, and then we let them think. Most of the time, we've already anguished over all of the positioning documents to come up with the perfect brand, and most of the time we nail it. There is about a 10% time when people will say, let me think about this. And we are very patient about that because we understand they have to live it. They have to be that brand every day of their life. But what we hear, the resounding theme of everybody in the program or who has been through the program, including me being the first one to go through it, is you do begin to live it. And once you begin to live it, it just flows naturally. Because as I read in a fortune cookie last night, it's not anything new to us, but I thought it very poignant. I liked the way it was the way it was spoken. It said, if it can be built in the mind, it can be found in your life. And I thought that was really cool because that's a brand. And once you begin to do that and you begin to build how that fits and how you live that, you're just going to naturally spread it around everywhere else. And people will pick up on it and it will bring you business. I'm living proof, and we have dozens of people in the program that are living proof to that. So good luck with your brand, folks. And when we say get it out there, it's the only way people will know.
Thank you, Michael. Great summary. For those of you who are interested and would like to talk to us about your brand, you can schedule a free strategy call with me and let's discuss your brand. So all you have to do is go to discussyourbrand.com, answer some questions for me, schedule something. You will actually see a whole list of available times on my calendar. Just pick one and it's done. And I'll call you at that time and we'll talk about your brand. So discussyourbrand.com. We have real estate agents, BrandFace agents as we call them, in 26 U.S. states, 4 provinces of Canada and New Zealand, and growing every week. And we are so proud. We have several on with us today, and I'd like to thank you guys for taking the time to come on with us and support us. We appreciate you and are honored to have you in the program. And for our guests today, welcome, and feel free to reach out to us. I'd like to leave you with one quote that I think is apropos for today, and I'm going to have to look up here at my board to make sure I get it right. But it's from Lao Tzu, a Chinese philosopher. And he says, "He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty." That's a really strong quote that I felt like was so powerful to me that I put it up on a board that I look at it every day. So that says a lot about Fearless Friday and about going beyond the fears you have inside yourself, to put yourself out there in a very authentic and confident way that doesn't appear arrogant to other people, but appears helpful to other people. And that's what we stand for. So I'll leave you guys with that. Everyone have a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you here next week on Fearless Friday. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Tanya.
Bye, everyone.